Picture your typical morning routine in the quiet comfort of your kitchen. You take a fresh, bright yellow lemon from the fruit bowl, carefully slice it right down the middle, and squeeze that tart, refreshing juice into a glass of warm water. You probably read in a magazine or heard on television that this is a wonderful, natural way to wake up your digestion and start your day on the right foot. After squeezing every last drop of juice out of those halves, you naturally toss the squeezed rind and all that thick white pith straight into the garbage can. Stop right there. What if I told you that by throwing away that seemingly useless, bitter rind, you were actually tossing the most powerful, health-protecting part of the entire fruit? It is exactly like buying a priceless antique grandfather clock, carefully keeping the cheap cardboard shipping box it came in, and throwing the beautiful wooden clock directly into the wood chipper. You are keeping the packaging and destroying the miracle. You see, the clear juice you are drinking is mostly just water, some natural fruit sugars, and a modest splash of basic vitamin C. The true biological treasure, the incredibly dense protective compounds that your aging cells are absolutely begging for right now, is locked away securely inside that spongy white layer you just discarded. Big mistake. I know exactly why you do it, and I understand completely. Of course you peel it and throw that part away because our mothers taught us this way, and their mothers taught them the exact same routine. We were all raised to believe the sweet juice is the prize, and the bitter skin is just the annoying packaging we have to suffer through. My dear friend, it is perfectly natural to follow the familiar kitchen habits we grew up with. Nobody ever sat us down at the kitchen table and explained the microscopic miracles hiding inside the everyday things we throw away because they taste a little tough or bitter. Today, we are going to completely change how you look at this everyday supermarket staple. By the end of our time together, I am going to show you a remarkably simple, scientifically backed workaround utilizing gentle temperature and a specific chemical pairing to unlock those hidden compounds without ever dealing with that terrible bitter taste. Are you someone who usually drinks warm lemon water in the mornings? Type yes or no in the comments below. Let us take a fascinating journey inside your body to understand why this discarded treasure matters so much for your daily physical comfort. Think about how you actually feel when you first step out of bed in the morning and put your bare feet on the bedroom floor. That daily physical comfort, think about how you actually feel when you first step out of bed in the morning and put your bare feet on the bedroom floor. We often brush off these morning aches as just another normal, unavoidable part of getting a little older. We tell ourselves that our joints are simply wearing out like old tires on a high-mileage car, and we just have to accept this slow decline. But the truth of your biology is far more fascinating and deeply encouraging than that grim picture. That morning stiffness is not just simple mechanical wear and tear from a life well lived. It is largely the result of microscopic cellular rust, a slow-burning biological fire called oxidative stress that settles deep into your joint tissues overnight. When your body rests in the dark, inflammatory molecules gather in those tight spaces, creating that stiff, heavy, locked-up feeling you battle every single morning. Think about it. This brings us right back to the kitchen trash can and that discarded fruit. That thick white pith of the lemon, the part officially called the albedo, is packed with a staggering concentration of a specific bioflavonoid called hesperidin. Hesperidin is essentially nature's premier heavy-duty rust remover for your joints. When you successfully consume hesperidin, it travels swiftly through your bloodstream and acts like a cool, soothing rain on those microscopic cellular fires. It gently sweeps away the inflammatory debris that makes your joints feel glued together, allowing the synovial fluid in your knees and hips to flow smoothly again. Imagine being able to get down on the living room floor to play building blocks with your grandkids and actually being able to stand back up without groaning or searching for the edge of the sofa to pull yourself up. That is the exact kind of daily independent vitality we are talking about reclaiming here. You might be thinking you should just start eating whole lemons like apples right now to get this relief. Yes, the hesperidin in the pith is a magnificent joint soother, but you cannot simply chew on raw, bitter peels because your stomach acid alone cannot easily break down those intensely tough plant fibers. Never do this. We have to use a very specific, incredibly gentle preparation method to extract these nutrients, which I promise to walk you through step by step before we finish today. So, your joints are feeling cooler and more flexible, but all this wonderful physical relief is completely useless if you do not have the basic stamina to get up and enjoy your day. Think about your energy levels right around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. You have had your lunch, you are trying to read a book or perhaps running simple errands, and suddenly a wave of deep, heavy fatigue washes over your entire body. It feels as though someone simply unhooked your battery and drained your power in an instant. I know how incredibly frustrating that sudden afternoon slump can be. You might reach for another strong cup of coffee or a sugary baked treat just to keep your heavy eyes open. It feels like a personal failure, a lack of discipline or willpower. But it is actually a beautifully complex biological cry for help from your very own cells. Inside every single cell in your body, you have tiny, miraculous power plants called mitochondria. These magnificent little engines are completely responsible for taking the foods you eat and turning it into the vibrant, steady energy you need to enjoy a long walk or navigate those confusing, brightly lit supermarket aisles. As we celebrate more birthdays, these cellular power plants naturally start to become a little less efficient. They generate metabolic exhaust, much like an older car engine producing dark smoke out of the tailpipe. If that cellular exhaust is not cleared away efficiently, your tiny power plants literally choke on their own fumes, causing your overall physical energy to plummet rapidly. The modern food industry absolutely loves this natural biological vulnerability. They line the grocery store shelves with brightly colored energy drinks and highly processed snacks that promise a quick, magical boost. They know exactly how to manipulate your tired, foggy brain into buying their highly processed, empty-calorie solutions. Do you feel completely cheated by the massive amount of hidden sugars in so-called healthy supermarket foods? This is where the biological magic of citrus bioflavonoids comes into play yet again. The compounds locked securely in that discarded citrus peel do something absolutely extraordinary for your internal engines. They act like diligent microscopic chimney sweeps for your struggling mitochondria. By actively clearing out that suffocating cellular exhaust, the bioflavonoids allow your tiny power plants to breathe deeply and function at their absolute best. Your body naturally stops relying on sudden, damaging spikes of sugar for energy and starts producing a smooth, steady current of vitality that lasts all afternoon long. Imagine taking a long, beautiful road trip with your family, feeling sharp, alert, and engaged the entire drive without desperately needing a nap in the passenger seat. This is the profound, life-changing difference between merely surviving your day and truly experiencing the joy of your life. Yes, these compounds can beautifully protect your cellular engines, but they are incredibly sensitive to extreme heat, meaning boiling them aggressively on the stove will instantly destroy the very magic we are trying to capture. We must treat these delicate nutrients with profound respect and care. Remember that weird scientific workaround I promised you at the beginning of our chat? It involves a very specific temperature control that I will reveal shortly, so you never have to worry about accidentally ruining the beneficial compounds. So, your internal engines are swept clean and your energy is restored. But a strong engine is completely useless if the fuel lines are blocked and stiff. Let us smoothly transition to something that keeps many of us lying awake at night with quiet worry. I want you to take a moment and think about your circulation. Your cardiovascular system is a vast, miraculous network of internal rivers and streams that faithfully delivers life-giving oxygen to every single inch of your body. When we are young, our blood vessels are incredibly resilient and flexible. They expand and contract effortlessly, much like brand new high-quality elastic bands. But over the decades, due to daily stress, modern diets, and simply living life, these vital vessels can become a bit rigid and unyielding. Think of a green garden hose that has been left out in the baking hot summer sun for too many seasons. It completely loses its bounce. It becomes stiff, brittle, and highly resistant to bending. When your blood vessels lose their natural flexibility, your heart has to work significantly harder just to push the blood through the system.
This extra cardiovascular effort can leave you feeling unusually winded after carrying a light basket of laundry up a single flight of stairs. It is a quiet, subtle shift in your stamina that creeps up on us slowly over the years, making our world feel just a little bit smaller. I want you to know right now that this is not a permanent life sentence. Your blood vessels have an astonishing inherent capacity to rejuvenate themselves if you simply provide them with the right microscopic building blocks. Deep within the white pith of those everyday citrus fruits lies another extraordinary, highly researched compound called rutin. Rutin is absolutely famous in the world of advanced nutritional science for its unique ability to support vascular elasticity. It actively helps your blood vessels regain that youthful, flexible quality. When rutin enters your circulatory system, it acts like a deeply nourishing, soothing lotion for the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. It gently encourages them to relax, to expand naturally, and to let the blood flow freely without unnecessary straining resistance.
It is that simple. When your circulation improves, absolutely everything in your body improves. Your hands and feet stay comfortably warm even in chilly rooms. That heavy, aching feeling in your legs after a short walk to the mailbox begins to fade away. Your heart practically sighs with relief as its daily workload becomes noticeably easier. What beautiful city are you watching from today? And how much does a bag of fresh lemons cost in your local market? This simple, completely natural support for your circulation is one of the most empowering things you can possibly do for your daily independence. It means confidently saying yes to an impromptu stroll through the local park, or feeling steady enough to take the stairs instead of waiting forever for the crowded elevator. Yes, the rutin in the citrus peel is a magnificent champion for your blood flow, but your body's ability to actually absorb it changes drastically depending on what else is in your digestive tract at that very moment. Timing and proper combining are absolutely everything in natural health. Just like a beautiful symphony, the nutritional instruments must play together at the exact right time. I will show you exactly what specific food to pair this with in our final preparation steps. So, your blood is flowing smoothly and your heart is supported, but this magnificent, nutrient-rich blood must travel upward to nourish your most precious asset. Let us talk about your beautiful mind. Have you ever walked purposefully into a room to grab something, only to stand there completely blank, wondering why you walked in there in the first place? Or perhaps you've been chatting happily with an old friend at the grocery store, and you suddenly cannot remember the name of a classic movie you watched just last week. The word is right there on the tip of your tongue, teasing you, but it flatly refuses to come out. It can feel deeply embarrassing. It can even feel a little terrifying in the quiet moments when we're entirely alone with our thoughts. We instantly jump to the absolute worst possible conclusions. We worry endlessly that our precious memory is slipping away permanently. I know how hard this is. Please take a deep, calming breath and let me reassure you right now. More often than not, this is not a permanent, frightening decline. This is simply brain fog, a temporary, reversible state caused by oxidative stress reaching the delicate, sensitive tissues of your brain. Your brain is a highly active, incredibly demanding organ. It uses a tremendous amount of your body's oxygen, which means it also produces a massive amount of that cellular exhaust we talked about earlier. If your blood flow is even a little sluggish, that exhaust lingers heavily in your brain. Imagine your mind as a beautifully organized, treasure-filled attic. Over the years, fine dust settles on the storage boxes. The small windows get a little cloudy from the weather. The precious memories and words are all still perfectly intact inside those boxes, but the thick dust makes it incredibly hard to read the labels quickly. The powerful antioxidants found in the discarded citrus albedo have a very rare and highly special biological talent. Many excellent nutrients simply cannot reach the brain because of a protective shield called the blood-brain barrier. It acts like a strict, uncompromising security guard at the door of your mind. However, the specific, intricate bioflavonoids in the white pith are recognized by this strict security guard as friendly, highly welcomed guests. They are allowed to pass right through the barrier effortlessly and enter your deep brain tissue. Once safely inside, they gently wipe the accumulated dust off those memory boxes. They beautifully clean the cloudy windows of your mind.
They neutralize the irritating oxidative stress that creates the heavy fog, allowing your neural pathways to fire with crisp, clear, youthful precision. The sheer joy of restored mental clarity is profound. It means effortlessly staying sharp and witty during a lively family dinner conversation. It means easily remembering the small, beautiful details of a funny story your grandchild is telling you. It means feeling entirely present, anchored, and joyful in your own daily life. Yes, they can clean the windows of your mind, but they will never even reach your bloodstream if you make one critical mistake in the kitchen. We have journeyed together through the miraculous ways these forgotten compounds can soothe your stiff joints, reignite your cellular energy, ease the heavy burden on your heart, and gracefully sweep away the frustrating cobwebs of brain fog. We have seen the immense, untapped power hiding quietly in the parts we usually throw in the trash. Now, it is finally time to fulfill my promise to you. It is time to learn exactly how to harvest this incredible vitality safely, gently, and deliciously right in your own kitchen. The secret lies in a specific method that totally avoids the extreme, unpleasant bitterness of the raw pith while perfectly protecting the delicate, heat-sensitive compounds. We're not going to boil anything on the stove, and we are certainly not going to chew on tough, rubbery skins. First, you must absolutely choose an organic lemon or orange if you possibly can. This is crucial because conventional citrus is often sprayed heavily with agricultural chemicals and synthetic waxes that sit right on the outer skin. We only want pure, unadulterated nature entering our healing bodies. Wash the fruit thoroughly under warm, running water to remove any field dust. Now, instead of slicing it in half with a knife, take a simple, everyday kitchen grater. You want to use the side with the very fine holes, often called a microplane if you happen to have one in your drawer. Gently and carefully grate the entire outside of the fruit. You're capturing the brightly colored outer zest, which contains the fragrant, mood-lifting essential oils, and going just deep enough to capture a generous amount of that white, spongy pith hiding right underneath. Stop grating immediately before you hit the wet, juicy fruit segments. You should have a small, incredibly fragrant, fluffy pile of zest and pith on your cutting board. The physical grating process breaks down the tough plant cell walls, doing the hard mechanical work your stomach acid normally struggles with. Now carefully place this fluffy, aromatic mixture into your favorite ceramic mug. Do not use boiling water straight from a screaming, whistling kettle. Boiling water is far too violent and will instantly destroy the fragile hesperidin and rutin we worked so hard to gather. Never boil it. Instead, let your boiled water sit quietly and cool for about 5 full minutes. You want the water to be comfortably, soothingly hot, much like the temperature of a relaxing evening bath. Pour this warm, gentle water directly over your grated citrus pile. Cover the top of the mug immediately with a small saucer or a plate. This smartly traps the volatile, healing essential oils from evaporating uselessly into the kitchen air. Let it steep quietly and peacefully for exactly 10 minutes. This gentle, warm bath slowly and perfectly coaxes the bioflavonoids out of the pith and into the water. Now for the final, absolute most critical step of this entire process. I mentioned earlier that proper absorption is everything. These specific citrus bioflavonoids are fat-soluble. That means they desperately need a tiny vehicle of healthy fat to carry them safely through your intestinal wall and directly into your bloodstream. Without this tiny bit of fat, a massive portion of these beautiful healing nutrients will simply pass through your digestive tract completely unabsorbed. We absolutely do not want to waste a single drop of this hard-earned vitality. Before you take your first sip of your steep, you must introduce a high-quality, healthy fat. You can simply stir in a 1/4 teaspoon of good extra virgin olive oil directly into the warm liquid. The oil will float harmlessly on the top, and you will barely even taste it. If you strongly prefer not to put any oil in your teapot, simply enjoy this warm, fragrant infusion alongside a small handful of raw walnuts, pecans, or almonds.
The rich, natural fats in the nuts will perfectly bind with the bioflavonoids right inside your stomach, creating the ultimate biological ignition key. Do you keep your fresh lemons out on the kitchen counter or hidden away in the refrigerator drawer? Drink this gentle, soothing infusion mid-morning, perhaps right around 10 o'clock. This specific timing gives your body ample, uninterrupted opportunity to absorb the nutrients and deploy them to your joints and your brain right before that dreaded afternoon energy slump tries to ruin your day. You have just completely transformed a piece of everyday kitchen trash into a profound, life-affirming daily ritual for your vitality. You have taken back true control of your health using the quiet, brilliant, ancient wisdom of nature. It is that simple. You do not need highly complicated, outrageously expensive routines to feel vibrant and alive again. You just need to know exactly where to look and how to listen closely to the extraordinary, resilient biology of your own body. I am so incredibly proud of you for taking this time today to learn, to grow, and to deeply invest in your beautiful, active future. Every single small step you take is a powerful vote for a more joyful, comfortable, and fiercely independent life. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their consent.